September 11th, 2001. A day that all Americans will never forget. Al-Qaeda on American soil launched on an all-time scale. The largest terrorist attack. More than 3,000 people 10,000 injured. The United States launched Operation Enduring Freedom on October 7th. The official invasion of Afghanistan, fighting the Taliban, who provide sanctuary to Al-Qaeda. Less than a month. By early December, all major cities in Afghanistan were captured by the US Taliban military. Have been overthrown. From a military perspective, can in such a short time take Afghanistan at a very small cost. It's already a major victory. But for the U.S. military, rather than taking Afghanistan, overthrow the Taliban and take his head. And that man is Osama bin Laden. Welcome to Crease Military Base. Lead you through the head. All about the war on terror. Today we're going to talk about going after bin Laden. November 10th, 2001. There is intelligence that bin Laden is near Jalalabad. Take a truck to the base in Tora Bora. Organize a training camp. Tora Bora is located in the mountains of eastern Pakistani border. Easy to defend when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, helping jihadists resist an invasion. They funded the construction of caves, make up a few battles, and a full tunnel network. For the terrain here, bin Laden is not like a duck to water. If he wants to find a place, escape the pursuit of the U.S. military was the best option. The time comes in early December. After the Americans took all the major cities in Afghanistan, CNA first dispatched a team of 4 agents. In the top 10, accompanied by the Fukan and several donkeys. Be the first to dive into the Tora Bora mountains. Before that, on the bodies of dead Al-Qaeda fighters, found a small radio. This allows the U.S. military to eavesdrop internal on communications. Fighters. CNA agents have been carrying this radio. According to an agent who has studied bin Laden for many years, bin Laden was on the radio many times. My own voice. This small radio has a certain range of uses. Smaller in the mountains. So the CIA basically identified bin Laden in Tora Bora. After several days of trekking, CIA successfully reached the commanding heights in the interior down from the top of the mountain. More than 1,000 people are located in the valley. Just below the squad, there's no question. Just these CIA agents and some Afghan militia is unable to carry out the task of capturing bin Laden. To act rashly is to die. To take down bin Laden, they need the support of a large number of ground troops. At least 1,000 people. So the CIA made a request to the military. I hope the military can send us left and right special soldiers. The CIA believes this move will quickly end the war on terror. The military rejected the request. According to the director of the CIA's counterterrorism the Ministry of Defense's refusal was trying to tell the military, okay, this is the time for you to come in with massive force and end this thing. Secretary Rubisfield reportedly, he said, well, stood in having ado with us, this is a CIA operation. Without ground troops, it took a lot of air power. Can't do the whole enemy army. Because once the boiling water hits, there is no doubt that active groups will lose and flee. In the mountains, Drebra with caves everywhere. It takes a lot of ground troops to make up for these people. The CIA decided otherwise. It wouldn't let Al-Qaeda know they exist, waiting for another opportunity or full bombing. At the same time, send ground troops to catch them all. The Defense Department disapproves of the CIA's plan. Bombing Al-Qaeda. Although the CIA have repeatedly strongly opposed the approach of the Ministry of Defense, is directly from the armed Commander-in-Chief of the United States President George W. the President's decisions. December 9th, 2001. The operation officially begins. A small U.S. Delta Force, wearing traditional Afghan clothing and a bushy beard, holding the same weapons as the local militia, joined the battle. And 12 British SPS commandos and German KSK special forces participated in the battle. They are reportedly responsible for defending the mountain and carry out reconnaissance missions. The U.S. Combat Commander Air Power provides precise coordinates. B-52, B-1, BF-15, and other aircraft came to carry out strike missions. Tora Bora from the inside out. The airstrike lasted 56 hours. The U.S. military said it was the heaviest bombing since World War II. They even took Blue 82 out of the armory. The bomb is codenamed Daisy Cutter. Its blast radius can reach 300 meters. Not only lethal, due to its tremendous power, can be given to ground personnel, bringing an indelible psychological shock. Blue 82. It was the largest conventional bomb the United States had at the time. The U.S. military usually carries the bomb on a C-130 transport aircraft. After he exploded, no other sound came from the mountains. After the air raid, the U.S. has dispatched a small number mountainous of area troops for investigation, hoping to find bin Laden's body or any evidence that confirms his death. But unfortunately, the Americans found nothing. There's no evidence, proof that bin Laden was also killed. The U.S. military is concerned. Escaped to a more difficult place to track. April 18, 2002. 5 months after the Battle of Tora Bora, Americans' fears became a reality. A new video of bin Laden has leaked. He looks pretty good in the video. It doesn't look like a person being hunted at all. The appearance of this video, no desire, is a huge blow to Americans. This means that we have to study bin Laden's movements from the beginning. The U.S. military at this time never imagined. After Tora Bora missed bin Laden, I'll have to wait almost 10 years to see him next time. In fact, at the Battle of Tora Bora, the decisions of the U.S. government are highly controversial. Yes, but the U.S. government is just unwilling to send a large number of ground troops. Airborne painters are too risky, and Tora Bora surrounding Afghanistan, the area has been fully controlled by the U.S. military. Even if bin Laden escapes. Pakistan. If he flees to Pakistan, so the Pakistani will help America capture bin Laden. Of course, there are still many government officials who believe that caves is too developed. It is impossible to completely block. Even the special soldier of the U.S. military will escape. At least in hindsight, this missed encounter with bin Laden certainly greatly prolonging the war on terror. Since the Battle of Tora Bora, the CIA and the FBI are working hard looking for any clues related to bin Laden. As the world's leading terrorist, bin Laden's counter-reconnaissance capabilities are beyond doubt. Before that, decades of pursuit, it's not easy to find him. What's more, after the U.S. military took control of Afghanistan, will only be more careful. Therefore, they wanted to locate bin Laden directly. But it's a fantasy. In this case, CIA decides patient investigation instead of studying bin Laden. After careful analysis of bin Laden's various videos, the CIA found him often in videos. The person with the camera on his finger, they called him Mukhtar. The CIA judged that such close contact with bin Laden was possible. And the person filming his video must be unusual, at least at the top of the active organization. So the CIA started hand study this mysterious man named Mukhtar. In addition to that, they're also investigating bin Laden's deputy, Zawahiri, and the main action leaders of active organizations, Abu Zubaydah. Xinjiang under the protection of the construction Corps' relying on the Silk Road economic belt to thrive. The Corps' major breakthrough took place in March 2002. At this time, the CIA mastered the Abu ancestors. It will appear in his daily life. 17 locations were armed and take action simultaneously. Successfully captured Abu Zubaydah. During the arrest, was rushed to the hospital. Could die at any time. Time is running out. His first interrogation was conducted by the FBI. They questioned Abu at the hospital. What the amateurs didn't expect was Abu is surprisingly cooperative. He even confessed to a man who was planning. Al-Qaeda personnel who attacked. The FBI agent immediately took out the handheld computer. It contains various photos of the #1 terrorist. He enlarged one of the chapters. Ask Abu, is it the person who is planning the attack? Abu vetoed. The FBI agent then asked who the man was. Abu Z replied calmly, this person is Mukhtar. 9/11 was planned by him. The FBI agent who heard this eyes widened in an instant. It's as if the two veins of Rendu have been connected. Because of the person in the photo in front of you, they're familiar with each other. His name is Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, KSM for short. He was a terrorist tracked by the U.S. government for many years. He had a soft spot for the World Trade Center. As early as 1993, KSM has funded after the terrorist attack on the Twin Towers. At that time, causing multiple floors of the building to collapse. Died. The original intention of KSM was to blow up the foundation of the South Tower. But to his surprise, the foundations of the Twin Towers are very strong. Did not achieve its goal. Learned at CNA, the mysterious Mukhtar next to bin Laden is KSM. This can all be matched. After the failed first attack on the Twin Towers, unwilling, went to Afghanistan to join bin Laden and helped him plan 9/11s. Fulfilled his dream of destroying the Twin Towers. Therefore, in this case, capturing KSM became the CIA's next mission. March 2003, Pakistan CIA collaborates with the Inter-Services Intelligence Agency. Captured KSM while he was asleep. This is a major breakthrough for the CIA. At that time, almost everyone believed KSM can lead them to bin Laden. The only thing that needs to be done is to pry open his mouth. The United States will soon transfer to secrets in Poland. It is not protected by U.S. law unless it is on U.S. soil. In other words, they can do whatever they want. So speaking of which, I had to add some background knowledge. After 9/11s, the White House wooden beams, headed by the Vice President, the perfect time. Believe that. Because in the face of this terrorist organization with no bottom line. So they came up with this unified theory of administration and reinterpret him. The simple understanding is that the United States is at war with the President of the United States as Commander-in-Chief. We can take all necessary measures to protect the country. The President himself will become the constitutional authority. Whether it is Congress or other laws. Can't stand above the President. As long as the President approves, it's legal. What to do? He himself has great administrative power. Shortly after 9/11s, the U.S. government decided to classify these attacks rather than crime. Should prisoners who are arrested be considered prisoners of Department war? Attorney John? Classify them as detainees, so that these prisoners are not subject to the Geneva Conventions. Zhao Bush took this advice. The CIA authorized secret detention and the right to interrogate detainees. In addition to that, in 2002, George W. Bush also approved the famous torture memo. The full name of the torture memorandum regarding foreign countries detained outside the United States. This memorandum is written the American definition of torture, like water, sleep deprivation, wet beating, sexual humiliation, and other forms of prisoner abuse are defined as enhanced interrogation techniques. It does not fall within the scope of torture. So when the CIA interrogates prisoners, can be used legally, so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, to force prisoners to say the information they need. In the movie Vice President, here's a clip in a dramatic way. Put these rather controversial secrets. The image is revealed. Good evening, gentlemen. Tonight we're offering the enemy combatant, whereby a person is not a prisoner of war or a criminal, which means, of course, that he has absolutely no protection under the law, on foreign soil. And that sounds suspicious. We also have Guantanamo Bay, which is very, very complicated, but it does allow you to operate outside the purview of due process on land which isn't technically US territory, but where we still do have control. And also we have a very fresh and delicious War Powers Act interpretation, which gives the executive branch broad powers to attack nations or people who it deems still possibly a threat. We have the fact that under the unitary executive theory, if the president does anything, it must be legal, which of course, which would you like? Will. Have more. Excellent choice, thank you. At that point in time, the Cebu municipal government this series of measures is necessary. Who wants to prevent another attack on the United States? Then we take back KSM. At CIA, they started extracting confessions from KSM's various words and all deeds. The enhanced interrogation techniques. In a secret prison in Poland alone, the CIA conducted at least 183 water runs on such KSM. A high frequency. According to CIA officials, KSM is the one who can carry water the best. He usually persists for 2.5 minutes before he starts talking. You should know that water travel is widely used as a form of intense torture and irreversible psychological damage. CIA officers have tried to navigate water. They only last an average of 14 seconds. Enough to prove the strength of the water. In addition to that, KSM was sleep-deprived up to 7 years. Under such words and deeds, KSM confessed his various terrorist activities all over the world. But most importantly, he avoids talking about it. And that's where bin Laden is. Failed to get any clues about Ben Rattan from KSM. The CIA has lost almost all potential avenues. In the years that followed, they haven't made much progress. Wait until the next critical breakthrough. It's 2009 already. At this time, George W. Bush, who had gone through 9/11, retired. Under the leadership of the Obama administration, the United States has finally succeeded in finding bin Laden's residence. Like and follow. In the next video, we will talk about the death of bin Laden. January 2009, President-elect Barack Obama, accompanied by current President George W. Bush, visited the White House. It involves the U.S. economy, military diplomacy, political and other aspects. At the national security level, George W. Bush pointed out the first question Obama needs to face, it is also the most serious problem, how to contain the spread of terrorism. The most urgent threat that he'll have to deal with is an attack on our homeland. You know, I wish I could report that's not the case. There's still an enemy out there. There's no question. The enemy that Bush was talking about, the highest figure in Al-Qaeda, the culprit behind the 9/11 swirl, the world's #1 terrorist, Osama bin Laden. During the 8 years of George W. Bush's government is doing its best. They went to 2 wars. They invaded Afghanistan, the Taliban, overthrew Saddam Hussein. The total cost exceeds $1 trillion. Passed the torture memorandum, a massive surveillance program, and various other anti-terrorism laws. But even so, at this moment, the 10th anniversary of 9/11 is getting closer. Can you do it before that? A perfect answer for all Americans fell on the head of the new President Obama. Welcome to Crease Military Base. Guide you to understand counterterrorism, everything from the beginning. About war. Hunting bin Laden. In fact, as early as during Obama's presidential campaign, he repeatedly used national security matters for yourself. The war in Afghanistan is a necessary one. It was America that avenged 9/11, a just war. The Iraq War was a complete. It doesn't make sense. There is no need for war. Therefore, Obama's campaign promise was, after he was elected, we'll withdraw troops from Iraq, focusing attention primarily on Afghanistan. We've spent over $600 billion so far, soon to be $1 trillion. We have lost over 4,000 lives. We have seen 30,000 wounded and, most importantly, from the strategic national security perspective, Al-Qaeda is resurgent stronger now than at any time since 2001. We took our eye off the ball. After Obama was elected president, he immediately sent someone to Kabul. However, the conclusion he came to was not very satisfactory. This is the 9th year of the war in Afghanistan. Taliban for several years. They are adept at using various improvised explosive devices. It is very uncomfortable for the U.S. military to be small as time goes by. There's even a sense of a comeback. The conclusion reached by the U.S. military after research the situation in Afghanistan, at least 890,000, that's not a small amount. You know, the United States had just gone through a financial crisis. The economy is struggling. The Afghan war and the Iraq war, fighting for so many years, didn't get any results. So many more troops now. The anti-war sentiment among the people at home is growing. After layers of discussions in the Obama administration, they finally decided to give a 50% discount to Afghanistan, 47,000, and only 18 months to achieve. That is to say, since July 2001, the U.S. will gradually withdraw from Afghanistan. During that time, seems crucial. At this moment, Vice President Biden suggests the Taliban are targeting too broad. wasted on unattainable national change. It is better to destroy Al-Qaeda. During the 8 years that Bush Jr. was U.S. military, put all in this. I checked all the clues about bin Laden. None of the leads led to a breakthrough. As the world's leading terrorist, bin Laden's counter-detection capabilities are full. In August 1998, the United States is tracking Al-Qaeda members' phone to bin Laden's base in Afghanistan. Launched missiles. Bin Laden never used a device again. Communicated with the outside world. He is like a ghost. Haunts all Americans. I can feel his presence in my heart, but it just can't be reached. Over the years, bin Laden's communication with the outside world has always relied on a. In fact, as early as 2002, the CIA began investigating the bin Laden surname over the years. They only know bin Laden is an extremely. The code name of the trusted surname is Kuwaiti, and this man had close ties to bin Laden. Other than that, there's not a lot of information. As the saying goes, it is better to come early than to come for 8 years without any breakthrough. And this led to significant progress. In 2010, the National Security Agency among the many calls closely monitored. The person on the phone is in Arabic. This feature fits very well with bin Laden. The content of the call between the two with the last name is also person's very friend suspicious. Asked where he had been recently. What are you doing? You know who avoids the question. Vaguely replied, I'm doing the same thing as before. In addition to that, the counter-investigation of this mysterious done really man. Well. Even if you call, it won't stay in one place forever. There are indications that this mysterious person is most likely the CIA. In this case, the CIA uses the NSA mobile signal interception stations secretly deployed in the territory. Measure the distance between the signal transmitting point narrowed it down to Pakistan. What's next? Is to send ground troops to keep an eye on key areas, waiting for the Kuwaitis to appear. August 2010. During the first phone call between the Kuwaitis, CIA agents discovered a white Suzuki. The people in the SUV fit the profile and very well. Signal. It synchronized with the trajectory of the vehicle. This shows that the person they were listening to before. This car. The CIA began secretly tracking the white Suzuki. I drove with him for 3.5 hours. It went all the way from Peshawar to Abbottabad. They ended up in an unusual house. Compared to the surrounding houses, this house is extraordinary. That's 3,500 square meters just in terms of footprint. Much larger than the houses nearby. The entire courtyard is surrounded by 3.7 concrete walls up to 5.5 meters high. There's barbed wire on top of the walls. The windows are basically covered. There's even a block on the balcony on the third privacy floor. Wall more than 2 meters high. Even if you climb a nearby tree, you can't see what's going on inside the house. There are indications that the owner of this house is unusual. At least he's a very private person. After making progress in this class, the CIA's immediate summary of events and related letters reported to President Obama. The CIA says, in combination with this available evidence, they are highly suspicious of the people living in this house. It was bin Laden. After all, this kind of opportunity doesn't come every day. But as Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States scattered and risk the lives of soldiers. So Obama ordered the CIA thoroughly understand this what's going on in the house. And he asked that it not be leaked at this time. The fewer people who know, in this case, the CIA started secretly monitoring the house. Initially, they wanted to install cameras near the house, but the idea is too much risk. Then they dispatched ground agents, pretending to be a local, secretly monitor every move of the people in the house. In addition to that, and satellite imagery. As time goes by, the CIA figured out the makeup of the people in this house. There are 2 families in total who will come and go frequently. Kuwaitis and Kuwaitis. But other than that, CNA through drone image analysis found this house. It's not just these 2 families and a third family. Members of this family never go out. Kids don't go to school. Suspicious level full. Well, the drone captured a slightly older man out of the house. walking alone in the yard. CNA is measured in different time periods. The height of this person's shadow, about 1.9 meters. It's a good match for bin Laden. In this case, CNA wants to get closer, get information about this mysterious third person. To the surprise of the amateurs, the owner of the house has excellent anti-reconnaissance skills. Basically no breakthrough left. At first, the CIA wanted to collect their garbage and get clues from it. But in this house, they never throw out the trash. They will burn it directly in the yard. The CIA also dispatched under the guise of providing vaccinations. I want to take blood samples from the children and pass DNA identification. But this plan also failed. Doctors were ruthlessly turned away. The CIA ran out of everything they could think of. All means of intelligence acquisition. But no matter how hard they try, can't always take a photo of this mysterious man. All intelligence gathered is guesswork and analysis. There is no direct evidence. Bin Laden is in this house. Intelligence work has been done to the extreme. The next step is to make a judgment on the leader. Therefore, the CIA takes the information at hand and reports President back to the Obama as Commander-in-Chief. What he needs to do, it is to combine the intelligence provided by various finally departments. Make a final decision. After all, in the previous operational there are many similar U.S. military. The Islamic Revolution broke out in Iran to the U.S. Embassy, holding staff hostage. To rescue them, President Carter approved a rescue operation deep into the heart of Iran. But it turned out that not only did not save the hostages, the U.S. military also lost 7 helicopters, a transport plane. This incident directly led to the failure of President Carter's re-election. Similar events. So when Obama made the decision, I remember vividly the lessons of the past. How much did some of the past failures, like the Iran hostage rescue attempt, how did that weigh in you? I mean, was that a factor? Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I mean, you think about Black Hawk Down, you think about what happened with the Iranian rescue. And, you know, I am very sympathetic to the situation for other presidents where you make a decision. You're making your best. Call your best shot and something goes wrong. Because these are tough, complicated operations. And yeah, absolutely the day before, I was thinking about this quite a bit. In this case, Obama says he cannot make a decision immediately, but Obama hopes. In this way, once the final decision is made to act, facing the huge risk of this gamble, everyone involved is under a lot of pressure. Insomnia, hair loss, problems like baldness often blow the whole house to the ground. But the CIA can't rule it out. The possibility of a cover beneath the compound, assuming there is low storage. At least 32 GDMs need to be dropped to destroy him. There is another house within the blast radius. It is estimated that in addition to the civilians, as many as 12 civilians could also be killed. In addition, after Obama learned of this information, shelved the bombing plan and instruct Admiral McRaven develop a helicopter raid plan. McRaven selected the red of SEAL Team 6. The color squadron will carry out this secret mission. The red squadron was returning from Afghanistan. They can move around without attracting attention. This team has excellent language and skills, commanded combat experience. Almost all members of the red squadron were sent to Afghanistan in order to better familiarize the commandos with the environment. The CIA built a one-to-one building. According to the battle plan, helicopters will hover over houses, put the SEALs on the roof, break through from the roof. But here's the thing. Although they know where the house is, know everything around him, but the internal structure of the house, SAA knows nothing. That is to say, when the SEALs attack, they can only rely on their combat experience. Explore the interior of this house. Therefore, CI in this model, the interior of the house has a modular design. All the walls are movable. The layout of the house can be easily changed. During the Navy SEALs expedition, every time they go in, it's different. Just the assault training for the inside of the house. They did it over 100 times just to cover all situations. To ensure that the official action can be foolproof, it is worth mentioning that a simulation exercise in Nevada, it was using barbed wire instead of the compound walls. This makes the U.S. military unaware. And that set the stage for what followed. The starting point of the surprise operation is about 250 kilometers away from the target. High. President Obama's position is clear. It was impossible to inform the Pakistanis of the operation. The possibility of complex leaks is too high. Obama. It's even less likely to notify them. You didn't tell anybody in the Pakistani government, of the military, or their intelligence community. No, because you didn't trust. As I said, I didn't tell most people here in the White House. I didn't tell my own family. It was that important for us to maintain operational security. But you were carrying out this operation in Pakistan, yeah. He didn't trust them. If I'm not revealing to some of my closest aides what we're doing, then I sure as that. I'm not going to be revealing it to folks who I don't know. Without telling, initiate action with knowledge of the Pakistani government. This makes the risk of action even higher. After all, once discovered by the Pakistanis during the operation, best, fighter jet intercept. At worst, the war between the United States and Pakistan. After all, before that, the Pakistani military has made it clear that troops will not be allowed, and ordered to open fire on American soldiers who crossed the border. And to add insult to injury, near the house is the Pakistan Military Academy. The distance is only about 1.3 kilometers. That once the Pakistanis find out, their reaction time can be quite fast. Therefore, the CNA carefully studied Palestine's radar system. Avoid high-risk areas as much as possible. The Parisians from their treasure box pulled out black tech weapons that have never been used. That's the invisible version of Black Hawk. Compared to ordinary Black The stealth version is not fast Performance enough, is not good enough. But his suspense is noise canceled. The fuselage is made of the necessary radar to nose and engine intake are also done. All this retrofitting has one goal. That is to give this plane extreme stealth performance. Navy SEALs are learning about their new increased confidence after driving. We were kind of laughing. I remember the conversation was, well, our chances of surviving increased just now because we didn't know we were going to war on Transformers. The time has come to March 2011. The CIA first discovered this building. The house is 6 months old. They are worried. The people in the house are likely to have. That he had been discovered. If you want to act, you can't delay any longer. On March 14th, President Obama and the National Security Equity. A total of 5 security meetings were held. During this period, all senior officials who knew about the operation let them express their views on the action. In general, most of the advisors supported the raid plan. Vice President Biden is opposed. He felt that the information was not sufficient. Rash actions could affect U.S.-Pakistan relations. Secretary Rob Gates also only objected. He's worried about the SEALs. After listening to the views of all parties, Obama said, give him a little more time to think. He knows it in his heart. This operation is at best a 50-50 chance. It's a big gamble. At the end of the day, this was still a 55-45 situation. I mean, we could not say definitively that bin Laden was there. Had he not been there, then there would have been significant consequences. Obviously, we're going into the sovereign territory of another country and landing helicopters and connecting a military operation. And so, if it turns out that it's a wealthy prince from Dubai who's in this compound, and we've sent special forces in, we've got problems. So there were risks involved geopolitically in making the decision. But my number one concern was, can our guys get in and get out safely? After a night of deliberation, the next morning, April 29th, Obama issues final order. Approve the surprise mission. In his opinion, even if you risk your political career, don't miss this opportunity. Same time, on the other side of the earth, and the SEALs are ready for the final round. Ready in 2 days. When the moonlight has completely dissipated, they will launch the specter that has haunted Americans for years. But to everyone's surprise, even if the U.S. military has done its best, didn't go so well. It even had the risk of cancellation at one point. So what happened during this operation? What was the situation at the White House on the night of the operation? How did the U.S. military successfully complete its mission? Follow. Let's talk about it. the most famous U.S. military raid of the 21st century, Spear of Neptune. Then see you in the next video.